This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know. Some rockstar dads who started a show. So here's the next episode.
Welcome, everybody, to the Rockstar Dad Show. My name is Jaret. My good friend Gary is here, as always.
Hey!
And, man, holy crap. You know what? We're back on a roll. What a great couple of weeks it's been. I was looking back over, having state champs on the week that their record came out, and I'm, watching their tour, and I'm just like, that feels good, when we just nail it schedule-wise, and I'm just like, fuck, we fucking nailed that shit,
Someone is at the front door.
Anyway, somebody's at my front door.
Well, I wonder if it's like a new guest for the show that has a record coming out this week.
I don't think it is.
No, it's not. We didn't plan that. Darn it.
I don't even know who the hell. It's got to be the UPS guy.
It's pretty awesome that we nailed that, like you said, but I don't want to really try to sell it too hard to our audience and have them expect that we're going to continue to do that. That was it was a happy accident.
It's been a cool couple of weeks though, right? Like the cross episode last week with Daddy's the podcast, and man, they played up that them eating the McDonald's thing quite a bit, and then they were just like, yeah, we must have gone there 20 times, and I'm like, he gained 50 pounds and you guys only went there 20 times. I'm like, man, we eat a lot of fucking fast food.
Yeah, I mean, did this happen in 20 days? That's a lot. No, they did a good job though, because I always see the stuff that we put out. Of course, I see it.
Yeah.
But I've seen the stuff that they've chopped up and put out too. So that's a fun little cross promotion we had.
Yeah, he and I got an idea off of him for this AI software that cuts up your video for you or whatever, and I actually just used it on a Bowling for Soup thing.
Okay.
It's called, I'll just tell you guys, it's not a secret. It's called Opus. So we have this new 5-minute little recap video that is coming out for Bowling for Soup. And I ran that through the thing, and it chopped it into 5 smaller things. And 3 of them are really good and usable. And so I already posted one, and I'm going to post another one later today. But anyway, it's,
Look at us go doing the behind the scenes stuff, because literally right before we got on here, I saw an ad for some AI editing stuff, and I was like, I'm just gonna mess with it, and downloaded it and started messing with it. I don't have a report yet if I like it or not, but anyways, look at us go. Man,
you know what I do, and I'm so bad about this, Gary. I'll do that. I'll get one of those things on my phone, and then I will and then I just forget I have it. So I have all of these video editing things and just different, there's a couple of different AI things or whatever. And sometimes I'll even pay for it,
Yeah.
And then I just forget, because you end up going, if you're like me, I end up going back to the ones that I just use all the time anyway. So I use CapCut for everything that I do on TikTok, Instagram, and all that shit. Or the actual editor within TikTok is actually badass too. It's the best one. The one in Instagram blows.
Yeah.
In fact, it's so frustrating because my numbers are so much higher on Instagram Reels than they are on TikTok, fucking way higher, right? But I cannot stand that editor. I can't stand it. And so anyway, I got all these apps or whatever. Man, what is good about us, Gary, is that, man, we're a little older, and we're with it.
Yeah, we're with it. I was gonna say I got reminders set up in my phone because I'm gonna forget shit, right? But all those apps you're talking about where you downloading whether you do the I'll do the trial and forget, and then you're paying for it, or you go, I'll do the monthly or the yearly, whatever. It's you just forget about it, and you always go back to the original ones that you were using anyways, and then you've got all these paid subscriptions. So I've got a reminder once a month to go in there and check the ones and delete them. That being said, I ignored that reminder a lot, but probably every 2 or 3, maybe 4 months, I actually go, you know what, I need to do that, and then I'll go in and cancel subscriptions that I haven't been using.
Yeah, It's frustrating though, because like you go in there to cancel but it's like good for another like 8 months,
Yeah.
and then you just don't know. And then, oh man, it's so frustrating. All right. I figured out who rang the doorbell. I'm going to pause. Nobody's going to even know that this happens, but I got to call the roofer back because I'm getting a new roof tomorrow.
Ah.
All right. So, and this is one of those things where, like being a homeowner is a pain in the ass because this storm happened back in like March or April and that I'm having to get, but we've been, I wouldn't say fighting with the insurance company, but going back and forth between the insurance company and the contractor to try to get them to agree,
Yeah.
And so we're just now getting a new roof. And here it is, like almost a half. Like, what if it was really fucked up, and like
that fight back and forth between the roofer and the insurance company is always such a pain in the butt because like the truth is in between them, right? The roofer's like, oh man, it's all fucked. You got to replace it all. Everything's bad.
Yep.
The insurance company's like, nah, it's fine. You don't need it yet,
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't trust either of you.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's what happened. They wanted to, so the roofer, the contractor he's my neighbor. And so, but he's still a salesman, right? And I don't actually deal with him directly. I deal with the same guy that did my roof. I guess it would have been 2018 because he came to Warped Tour. That's how long ago it's been. Wow, that's fucking crazy. But Dallas, I mean, so and I just like we had him on the bus and stuff. But anyway, the insurance. So yeah, they're like, okay, you need a whole roof. And then the insurance company was just like, yeah, well, you only need this much of a roof, right? And the roofing companies do not want to come out and just do partial on your house. Plus, like, there's a whole problem with like matching the shingles and all this shit. But I'm like upgrading my shingles, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. This is such an old man conversation, but like I'm gonna save a little money on my property insurance because I should never have to replace my roof ever again
until next year's storm.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I bought the Dippin' Dots, Gary.
Yeah. No, I mean, but the roofers always do the thing though, where it's like exactly what you're saying. You need the roof, and they go, yeah, but they're writing all the shit to the insurance of like, well, the gutters are damaged, and and the screens, and the fence, and everything. Yeah, they're going to do the whole new roof, but then they'll patch together other stuff, and then the next storm comes around, and your insurance is like, well, we already gave you money for all that stuff.
Yeah,
but the roofer just replaced the roof.
Well, so they're doing my fence, my gutters. Like I'm getting your fence gets restained, but I mean the fence is like, it really is kind of an eyesore. Like it looks like shit. Like because it really did get beat to hell. And we in Texas we have cedar fences, guys. Those of you listening, and they're stained. And so when a big like Texas hailstorm comes through, like it I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, it looks like somebody shot like fucking acid on it or something, like it, you know what I mean? Like it's just sort of like there's just dots everywhere.
Yeah, we've had that like on really good storms. They'll get them good.
Yeah. But anyway, the good news is that I actually needed to get my garage doors restained anyway, and that's gonna happen. And then I didn't,
I think the real issue here, though, is who do these roofers think they are? Like, like they don't call or text. They're just going to stop by your house and ring the doorbell. Come on.
Oh, man. We got the no soliciting sign for that. And we had them come and so the roofing company that we're using, we had them put a sign in the yard. And the guy that owns the company is on the board of the HOA, and we got a letter from the HOA saying we couldn't have the sign in the yard. We're not allowed to do that. Yeah. Hey, you know what I did? They go, you're not allowed to have this sign in the yard that says you're getting this new roof, right? And so I go, well, then people shouldn't be able to have signs in their yard telling me that their fucking kid is a cheerleader. Yeah. You know what I mean? Fuck all of it. If you can't have one, you shouldn't be able to have any of it. Right? Yeah. Like, I don't give a shit if your kid plays baseball. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, I'm pissed off that you have it out there anyway. You shouldn't even be telling strangers that you have children.
Now, what about the little cardboard cutout that looks like people are bent over doing their yard work?
Hilarious.
Okay.
You should fucking have those ones.
Just hand them out when you buy the house in the
The
neighborhood.
old lady in the polka dot dress, you know, and just, God damn it. Remember when those were popular? Oh man, it's so funny. We, one time we got my ex-father-in-law one of those ones where it's like it's made out of metal, you know, but it's just a black silhouette we got of his dog. They had a golden.
Yeah.
And so and then he hit it with the lawnmower and it bent the tail so bad that it made the dog look like he was deformed and he couldn't bend it back. And so that just stayed in his yard forever. And I used to get a kick out of that. I thought it was that kind of stuff makes me laugh. Oh man, what's going on with you, dude? I mean, here's the thing. This is what's, guys, if y'all know anything about Bowling for Soup, you know that we're all very close. And so like we get off tour and it's actually within a week, we're like, I miss you guys. I'm glad we're home. But yeah, I had coffee by myself today.
Yeah, whenever we get home, like the group text thread does die for about 4 or 5 days, maybe a week. Then after that, it starts dinging up in the middle of the night and all day long, and it does get busy again.
Yeah, but we have all of our different ones, you know, like we have our individual, and then we have me and you and Rob, and then we have me and you and Rob and Dave, and then we have band, and then we have band and crew, and then we have band and pretty much most of the dudes that have ever worked for us.
Yeah,
and,
it gets confusing sometimes.
It does, yeah. And then I have that for the country band too. And so sometimes it does get a little bit hard to maneuver, but you know, sometimes you just send the wrong fucking link to the wrong people and then everybody gets a good laugh out of it.
Yeah.
It's great. Well, I think something that's on everybody's mind, or at least has been for the last couple of weeks, that we should probably at least hit upon is did you and your family, or did you watch the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight?
Man,
Yeah.
Where do we start on this thing? Yes,
Right.
we watched it.
Let's back up a smidge and first of all say that the card itself, the fights that happened throughout the night were great. Like it was the girl fight was probably, you know, one of the best boxing matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I don't know if it's the best ever, but it was pretty awesome. We Tyler had his regional band rehearsal that night, so he had made regional band, and it's not like a band; it's from all over the region, you know. So they don't get to practice. So the day before the concert, they have like a 3-hour practice, and then the day of, they practice all day long, and then that evening they have the concert.
Mm-hmm.
So the night of the fight was the first practice. So we got home basically just in time for like the girl fight to start. So we had missed all the previous ones.
Okay.
And that's when we discovered that Netflix did not understand the assignment.
Now they're in trouble, and they've got a Steelers game on Christmas Day. And
I mean, they should be fine there though, because there's not that many people going to be watching that.
The good news is that I'm traveling on Christmas Day, and so I'll be watching on my phone anyway. And people were having fine luck with their phones, at least where we were.
Is that it? You could watch it on your phone, but not on like
TVs,
your actual TV?
Fire sticks and smart TVs and stuff are having trouble. But my mother-in-law was like way into this shit, and she was watching it on her phone the whole time. And so I mean, she's over there yelling, and we're yelling we were over at Gary Price's house. We're yelling at him to get his shit together, you know. But then, you know, you just get on social media and you realize everybody's having the same problem. But
yeah, it didn't take me too long to figure that out. Like whenever I got there and it like wouldn't really let me log in, but everything else in the house is working. And then it did let me log in, but it's like buffering. You know, it took me about 3 or 4 minutes to figure out that it was just Netflix shit in the bed.
Yeah, it was. But you know, it just sucks because I knew what I had been sold. although it didn't cost me any money, but I knew the bag of dumb shit that I bought, and I knew going in that it was going to be scripted. In my opinion, it was scripted. I feel like when you watch it, you can see Tyson pulling punches back, where it was just like, dude, had he fucking thrown that right uppercut, it would be good night. Like, I think he actually hit him a couple of times and like fucking realized it,
So I had a different take watching it than I do now. Like, kind of like watching highlights back and then thinking about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So at the time, we were all watching it for the same reason, right? Every single person that watched that wanted Mike Tyson, to come out and just knock the dude's head off in 42 seconds. We wanted old school Mike Tyson to just come obliterate him. That's what everybody wanted, right?
Sure.
And he came out and he was pretty hot, and we're like, okay, he's older, but this may actually be a fight. I think everybody thought it was going to be scripted, but wanted to see him just knock his block off, right?
Yeah.
And so the first round is like, okay, that's kind of actually a fight. Maybe this will be interesting. And then after that, it's like, okay, did Mike just get totally gassed? Like, there's points where his feet weren't even moving, and he's like you said, he's dodging, but he won't throw a punch. Like, punches. And man, he's a better boxer than that. Even if he is old, he still has the muscle memory, the intuitiveness, the just reflex to throw that punch. So at that point, I was like, I don't know if he's just that old. Is he just trying to make it through? What's going on here? But then watching the highlights back, it to me, it seems like he came out fighting, going, I'm going to throw some punches. And then after that, I think he was literally going, I'm not doing this. I want everyone to see that I'm not doing this, that we're going the eight rounds, but I'm showing y'all that I'm not throwing punches by just kind of half throwing a fist. I think he was like, what's that word? Not televising, but he was showing everyone, like,
advertising. Yeah.
He was advertising that this is all BS.
This is all bullshit. Yeah. And and he was adamant. He said he needed the money. He needed this. He made $20,000 after taxes. That's what, $12 million.
12,000 probably. Yeah.
12,000 at least. But not to mention how much he got paid. Letting people come into the training facility or whatever. They'll pay you $20,000 to come in there and film you and shit so that they can have that. Whatever. But and it's just like, and I the thing is that I can't stand Jake Paul, but the thing is that I can't stand Jake Paul for the reasons that he wants me to not be able to can't stand him. Like, he is, you have to admit,
he's a provocateur, right?
He's a genius. That fucking fight was all I saw for at least 4 days leading up to it. But we're talking months and months and months. We've been talking about this, right?
Yeah.
But the last week leading up to it, my whole feed on all socials except TikTok, so all Instagram, all Facebook, whatever, is all just that, and it was brilliant. It's going to be the most watched women's sporting event in history is because the women that fought before them.
Yeah. Let me ask you this though. So I don't keep up with boxing. It's not anything that I really keep up with.
Yeah.
Whenever you have the huge big fights, it's fun to watch them. But I probably hadn't watched a fight since Tyson fought, and not the one in 2020. It was before that.
Yeah.
So I've heard other people saying, boxing was dead. Boxing was dead. Boxing was dead. This fight brought it back. And that's kind of genius. Like you're saying, Jake Paul's this amazing marketer, right? And he got so many eyeballs on this thing. So people are like, this is bringing boxing back. But my question is, so many people walked away disappointed. We all knew that it wasn't going to be what we wanted it to be, but we had that hope that it was. But I think we all walked away with it being worse than we thought the reality of it would be.
Yeah.
And how obviously scripted or maybe not scripted, just, it wasn't even real, So I think a lot of people are upset. So does that completely turn everyone off of it from the future? Like, hey, we had hope, and then never mind, whatever.
Yeah, boxing's been getting its ass beat by MMA for a long time.
Sure.
I mean, and that's just it just is what it is. I mean, but that being said, I mean, you hope I don't know. I mean, I hope everybody does great. I want everybody to win. But I'm not interested in boxing, like I watched this because of I mean, I don't know I don't know that there's another boxer. I mean, all of the boxing I've watched in the last several years is Jake Paul. I mean, I've watched all of these things because again, I'm a victim of it, but like, I mean, but I'll watch like a big, in fact, there was a big MMA thing on Saturday that we missed that I wish I would have watched because I saw a bunch of the highlights and fuck.
That's how big the Jake Paul boxing thing is because it stole all of that MMA's thunder unless you keep up with it. Yeah. I didn't know about it until the next day. I didn't know about it till Sunday that there was another one.
Same. Yeah. Same. Well, I mean, I guess my thing is I think I'm one of the ones I walked away disappointed. I put this on my Instagram. It's like I knew how old Tyson was. I knew how young Jake Paul is. I know, what bag of goods Jake Paul is normally selling us. I get it. Like but I sort of like, I sort of equated it to not as bad, but, watching Saddam Hussein get hung, like I knew I really, really wanted to watch it. Then after I watched it, I was like, that sort of made my stomach hurt a little bit, like that's sort of obviously it's way more, but that's the only way that I could explain it. Like, I just felt gross and just like, it fucking felt exactly like I thought it was going to feel if Jake Paul won.
I think I went off on too long of a tangent and didn't really clarify what I was trying to say earlier, but watching it and when it was over, I felt sad because at that point I was like, man, Mike he's old now and he didn't quite have it. And, good for him for getting in there and getting lasting, but that's kind of where my mind was when it ended. But like the next day later, whenever I watched highlights, that's when I was like, you know what? I think he was pulling his punches. I don't think 100%. That he was even fighting. He wasn't even trying. And so I don't care, moving forward, the next Jake Paul fight, I'm like, you've sold it to me. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that you've got to hand it to him is he put together a pretty nice night of boxing though. I mean, the
previous fights. Yeah.
The previous fights were fine. And, but I'd rather him fucking lock him in a cage with Conor McGregor and let that dude just fucking crawl all over him and fucking beat the fuck out of him, but look,
you know who the real losers of this night were?
Who?
The people that actually paid money to go watch it live.
100%. Yeah. When they showed, because man, my wife really wanted to go. And she was like, come on, let's just go. And I go, there is no fucking way. There's 1,000 reasons I don't want to go to this. 1,000. And the big one was exactly why people started booing, leaving. You know what I mean? Because it's fucking bullshit. And whatever. But again, I feel like, and my other post it just felt like wrestling. It just felt like we were just in it for the story, and then watching him celebrate at that fucking bow at the end, like I was just like, oh, so gross. Like I just wanted to vomit all over him, and fuck.
Yeah. Like I said, the whole time I'm sitting there just hoping that old school Mike would kick in where he doesn't give a shit, where like when he bit off Evander's ear, it's like, let's get that fucking crazy Mike where he's like, you know what, fuck the payday, I'm gonna knock this kid's fucking head off.
Well, and that's what he said was gonna happen, and then I don't know, man. At least we got to see his butt. That's another thing. As soon as we saw his butt, I was like, this is a fucking joke. This is just a goddamn, it's again, we are who they thought we were.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It's like, that's the thing, right? You feel like you walked away from it going, I fucking knew what I was getting into, but I let myself just think for a second. We all just had this, because that's just it. That's the brilliance of Jake Paul. He knows that we all want him to get the shit beat out of him. He knows that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. We got to take a break. New sponsor, guys. Y'all listen to this. We'll be right back with more Rockstar Dad Show. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show. Don't forget, we are on Tuesdays now, 9 p.m. Eastern, and then just a few hours after that, right to your phone, wherever your podcast app, wherever you listen. Gosh, it's Thanksgiving week, and a lot of changes for the holidays this year for me. My parents have been traveling on the holidays for the last several years, and for various reasons. Haven't seen them, but we did the Italian Thanksgiving on Monday, and so that's that. And then Thursday is going to be a bit different. Our tomorrow, I guess, is we're just chilling at home, and we're gonna have like people that don't have a place to go come over, and I think it'll be kind of low key, pretty fun. And then Friday, just be hungover, I guess. The plan.
So you guys in the past have had like the traveling Thanksgiving with multiple different families and days and sides of families and stuff, right?
Well, we haven't done that in years because we haven't really been going to my mom's for, several years. And so the kids have been working, Emma's been working on Thanksgiving now for 5 years. And Jack,
I thought like last year y'all had gone to, or a couple of years ago, y'all had done like Casey's family and then Casey's grandma and then your sisters in Oklahoma. And
that's Christmas.
Gotcha.
But for Thanksgiving, it's always been Casey's mom. But this year, Casey's cousin, who just instantly had 3 kids. It's crazy how fucking life is. But she is doing it at her house, and they live like way out in the country and shit. And Casey was just like, man, you've been traveling so much. Do you want to just not go? I was like, well, I don't want to be the one that makes the decision, but I will be totally honest. Staying home and chilling on the couch, and with a few beers and having a few folks over, and not having to drive, and sounds pretty nice. So last year I went to your house, and that I was like, and I'm on record as saying that it's probably my favorite Thanksgiving of all time.
It was a fun one,
man. And you're good. And so I'm going to miss your stuffing and your cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to get the gelatinous cranberry sauce out of the can, like an American. And Casey's got her mom's stuffing recipe, and it's Everett's favorite thing in the world. So we'll be okay. So Casey did a practice turkey. So we should be in good shape.
What do you do with the rest of the practice turkey? Do y'all make soups, chili? What's going on? Because like usually whenever we do a turkey, we've got a big group of people and still have leftovers.
Oh yeah. So sandwiches, all that shit. Definitely soup, so you can put that stuff into that. And then man, there's tons of stuff.
Isn't that the best part though?
Man, it's so good. Dude, I saw this thing on the internet. It's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen in my life. It's someone took a muffin pan, and so you take the muffin pan and you put your little muffin cups in there, and then you put your leftovers from Thanksgiving, each one in one of the little pockets of the little hole. So like one of them has stuffing, and one of them has mashed potatoes, and one has mac and cheese, and then one has this, and then you just stick it in the oven, and you've just warmed up your goddamn holiday leftovers.
So that's pretty brilliant. I thought where you were going with it is each individual hole, like in the bottom you put some potato, and in the next spot, like just above that, you put some stuffing, and then you get some turkey in there, and you throw some cranberry sauce, and so like as it refrigerates, it kind of becomes into like its little puck of Thanksgiving. And I was like, that's kind of cool sounding.
It is a good idea, but I love Thanksgiving. It's my favorite meal, and I don't eat it. I don't like if I like the open faced turkey sandwich at restaurants and shit, but I really don't get it very much because like you get full and
Yeah.
You didn't you dismantle the whole thing about turkey making you tired? Like, isn't that it? Just you can't eat enough of it for it to really kick in or something, right?
Yeah, I can't remember where I saw this. It may have been like an Alton Brown thing, or I don't know. I read it or saw it somewhere. But basically, everyone blames the getting tired after Thanksgiving on the tryptophan from the turkey. But turkey does have tryptophan in it, but it doesn't have that much where it's really going to make you that tired. It's the fact that whenever we do Thanksgiving, you have 3 rolls and a scoop of mashed potatoes and a bunch of stuffing.
Yeah.
And, one thing is, it's just all those carbs. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm stuffed. But then it's also, you have 3 servings of it. So you go have 3,000 calories in a meal. And you're just like, I want to go sit on the couch and take a nap. It's not so much the tryptophan as it's the overindulgence.
Yeah, overindulgence, man. Well, that's what we do. We didn't get to celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving, but we were there, and I didn't realize that it's pretty much the same. Like, it's on a different day, but they eat the same shit. And there's a couple of different things, but for the most part, it's kind of the same thing there. And so that was cool. So this will be, our second Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We're definitely having a small group this year. All of our family, again, this year is doing other stuff. My sister and aunts and all those people. So I think it's just going to be the 4 of us and Anik's parents and my mom, which I think is going to be a good thing. I think Anik's mom's kind of having not the best run of health, so kind of just a quiet, low-key thing will be good for her. So we're definitely having the low-key one over at our place, but I'll be doing all the cooking. I'll have my mom help me with some, but it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, man, it's the same group as last year, only with me and Mark and Bonnie, and then and man, we didn't leave the table till 3 a.m.
Wasn't that great?
It was great.
Yeah, normally it's like my sister's family and my aunt and all them, but they're all doing other stuff this year. So, what do you do? Do you make Casey make you some kind of special dessert? Because you don't like pie, and everyone does pie at Thanksgiving.
No, I just don't eat dessert because I like the meal itself. I get full. Yeah, there's just nothing that I really want.
You go back for seconds or another meal later instead of dessert.
Yeah, my thing is like basically like I used to make like a big sandwich that had everything on it, but since Chipotle, we've all learned about the bowl now.
Sure.
And maybe Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know who invented it, but anyway, the goddamn bowl. And so that's what Casey's family did. And I was like, that's fucking brilliant. You just throw everything into a bowl, and it's this, it's the same premise as just leftovers or whatever. And then you don't have to have it all on bread. But yeah, I do that. And then, and I'll do that for a few days. And then I just pretty much like, I won't like keep like day 2. I'm eating the turkey, but it's not like I'm done with mashed potatoes. You know what I mean? Like I don't like just keep making plates of that shit. Like it's just that day 1 is like the meal and then the leftovers later that night. But shit, I don't know. Like my appetite's so, because I haven't been eating as much these days. So it'll be interesting to see if I'm even hungry again.
Yeah.
But
I'm 100% with you on like the leftovers. Like there's certain things that I'm done with that. I'm going to keep on, okay, dressing and turkey and cranberries. Okay, I'll keep on that. But I'm done with the rolls. I'm done with the potatoes. I'm done with all that by like the second meal.
Yeah, I think last year I got home from your house. I Ubered, by the way, everybody. But I think I got home at 4:30 in the morning. Maybe it was something like that. And we had drank all the wine and solved all the world's problems. And I got home and I fucking heated up my leftovers that you sent me home with right then.
Yeah. We did do the one more bottle. Okay, one more bottle of wine. Okay.
Yeah.
And we got to that last bottle and like, all right, I'm calling the Uber.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. I think everybody I was so surprised that everybody just hung in there that long, but
Nick's mom went to bed and then came back later and hung out more. Like that's
right.
We were up late. Yeah.
Yeah, she heard all the laughing and she thought she was missing out on all the jokes. So she was like, I just heard everybody in here laughing and I felt like I was missing out.
Yeah.
And so she.
But that's what it's all about: hanging out and having a good time, and spending Thanksgiving with your loved ones.
I agree, man. You know, it's Thanksgiving's always been. I like that holiday, and my ex wasn't really, crazy about Thanksgiving, and so when we got a divorce and started dividing up the kids or whatever, I gave her Easter and took Thanksgiving. But now my kids, the two older kids, work on Thanksgiving because they're both in the food service industry or whatever. And Jack is coming home though from college.
Where are they working that's open on Thanksgiving?
So she, Emma works at the country club. And so I think they have like a big thing.
Gotcha.
And, so yeah, that's what she does. So, I mean, they're just always open. She works at like a really, really fancy one, like
Gotcha.
not like the fanciest, but like up there.
Yeah.
And, so like she works at one of those ones where like the people that go to that country club go eat there 3 or 4 nights a week.
Gotcha.
Like it's like it's like Donald Trump's place, right? He goes and eats at 9 o'clock every night, which I just learned this the other day. He eats the same place at the same table every night at 9 o'clock. And so he starts walking through Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. Lago, yeah.
Mar-a-Lago. And at like 8:30 and says hi to everybody. And then he just goes and sits down and fucking eats his shit. And that's it, It's a late dinner for an old man.
Yeah. Some people just have late schedules. Like my whole family, my grandparents on my mom's side, the whole family was like late.
Okay, so that didn't just start with you. That's like because you've always been like that. You've always been like a late guy, like the Wisemans. That's always been y'all's thing, But like for me, when we were you were like the last single guy, and you guys were the last. Y'all were, and y'all waited to have kids. You know what I mean? Like you were young, and I just assumed it was because of that. But that makes all the sense. That it's sort of like how your family, you've just always been sort of late.
Yeah, even like when my grandparents were old but still alive, they're in their 80s, and like they'd stay up till 1, 2 in the morning. We'd have dinner at 9 o'clock at night. It's just they're late.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
I was going to say though, like the Trump thing, having the same dinner at the same table at the same place every night. Like there's a lot of super high performing, successful people that like do certain things that cut out routine decisions out of their life. Like there's this Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg, like they have the same wardrobe, like they just wear the same thing every day. It's not like they don't waste time making decisions on should I wear this shirt today or that shirt today. It's just
right.
They have 100 black shirts. That's it.
Yeah, and a pair of jeans, and I mean, it makes sense. It makes it also like as far as planning the day. Hey, we got to be ready at 8:25.
Yeah, because
walk through this thing. We do it. We do it every night.
People, yeah, exactly. People get what's it called, like decision overload, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's certain things in your life that you can just eliminate, like what the decision on that's going to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that appears to be sort of like what some of these more well-off families that go to Emma's Country Club do. I think it's the same kind of thing. It's like they go on these certain nights.
Yeah.
This is their routine, and they go in, and anyway, so they're open on Thanksgiving. So we'll see what happens. Hey, we got to take a break, and we'll be back with more Rockstar Dad Show. We're just hanging, just me and Gary just hanging today. And we'll be back with more of this amazing podcast / radio show right after these messages. Do you struggle to find the perfect gift during the holidays? Maybe gift giving just isn't my love language, but I just feel like everyone I know already has everything. And I never have that great gift idea for people that I love. Well, we've got the perfect gift for you. Skylight Frame is the touchscreen digital photo frame your whole family will love. Upload thousands of photos with your phone and watch them appear in seconds. It's so easy to use. Setup takes less than 60 seconds, and with seamless sharing, you can invite your friends and family to easily share photos via the free Skylight mobile app or email with no account or subscription required. The touchscreen on the Skylight Frame is a game changer. Swipe through photos, tap to see new photos sent, or tap the heart button to say thank you to whoever sent it to you. And this is so cool. With gift mode, you can preload it with all kinds of memories without even opening the box. And now, as a special limited time offer for our listeners, get $20 off your purchase of a Skylight Frame when you go to skylightframe.com/rockstar. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com/rockstar. Get $20 off your purchase now at skylightframe.com/rockstar. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. The holidays are right around the corner. Christmas lights are on the house. We're going to get a tree. We get a real tree now.
So speaking of being late for everything, you were saying how Anik and I like had kids late and just everything, right? We're also usually setting up Christmas decorations late.
Yeah.
I think last year we put them up like 2 days before Christmas.
Oh shit. See, Casey reminded me of the first year after I got a divorce that I did that, and I just wasn't going to decorate for Christmas, and
yeah,
she made me. But because I can get to the point where I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. Well, I mean, we're already here.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I don't remember what was going on. We just had a ton of stuff going on. But because we're going to Australia and then they're going to be out of town while we're gone. Anyways, like we're not going to be home a lot to enjoy all that stuff. Anik's like, this year we're putting up Christmas on as soon as Thanksgiving's over. So we're getting ready to do that.
Yeah. Well, heck yeah, man. It's going to be great. I and I do like it. I like when the Christmas decorations are up. I do like the season. I had a toy store, as you know, for a long while. And so retail will sort of break you of loving the season for a while, but man, it's been long enough, for me that I love it again, and then once you have kids, the magic and shit,
I worked at a craft store all the way from the time I was 16 till the time I dropped out of college. Actually, after I dropped out of college and joined Bowling for Soup, I still worked at the craft store for a couple of years whenever we were home. So I had many, many years of Christmas decorations going up in August. And after Christmas, they start discounting them each week more and more and more until they're all gone. So basically from August to like the end of February was Christmas. Mm-hmm. And what I did at the store was set up most of the displays and stuff. So I kind of definitely got burnt out on Christmas decorations for a long time. But like you said, once you have kids, it changes it all.
Yeah. Do you guys do the Elf on the Shelf?
We never got into that.
Man, you're so lucky.
Yeah. None of us had that as a kid. And, like people your age that had kids, that's the first time we had ever heard of it. And so it just didn't mean anything to Anik and I. And so we never took it on for our kids.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't have that when I was a kid either. We had like my mom did do a really cool thing. She made an advent calendar, and like every day you'd wake up and you'd go in there and there'd be something in there, So like for 25 days, it'd be a yo-yo or a kazoo or some shit.
Yeah.
And then, that lasted like a couple of years. And then, you'd go in there and there wouldn't be anything in there. And then there wouldn't be, then there'd just be like $40 in there. It'd be like, hey, this is for the next 2 weeks. Just like, but she did put it up all the time. And she did make a conscious effort to do that.
We definitely always get the advent calendars for the kids. And it's so funny how the different kids are. Tyler every day opens it, gets his piece of chocolate. Great. Next day opens it, gets his piece of chocolate. Yeah. And Mia will forget about it, and then be like, can I have 5 pieces of chocolate today?
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it reminds me of Bad Santa when he fucking eats his So that kid's all grown. I just saw a picture of him recently, and and it's just wild when those kids grow up because he's just all grown up. He looks like a normal kid.
Did you ever see the sequel? Like the first one was just amazing, but I never saw the second one.
I think I saw it one time and I don't remember it at all. But that first Bad Santa though is just an amazing movie. God, it's so good. Just so damn good. What do y'all have a Christmas movie that you guys watch as a family or that y'all get excited about every year?
Used to, like, it was me and my sister. We would always watch The Christmas Story, you know, and then TNT started doing the 24-hour straight of it.
Yep.
And we didn't get burnt out on it. I think it just took some of the specialness away, you know, because whenever they started doing that, we stopped watching it. And just like every year we would see the whole movie. You just don't see the whole movie straight. Like you just get bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
But you know, you kind of see the whole thing. After that, the kids just love all the Christmas movies. So, I mean, every few days we're watching something, but I don't know if we have at least I don't have a specific one that's like, this is the one.
We do. I mean, we definitely, like, me and Everett and Casey will watch them periodically throughout the season. Like, hey, let's watch this tonight. But Christmas Eve, when everybody's home, you know, all three kids, and for years we watched The Grinch, the Jim Carrey one, and then Elf a couple years, and then now it's switched to Christmas Vacation because the kids are older and they think that shit's funny, you know. So any of those three are big family favorites. I'm sorry, I keep trying to yawn and hiccup at the same time. So if, like, for the past 2 minutes, if you're like, what the fuck is going on with him? That's what it is.
Do you think does your attitude towards the current holiday change depending on weather? Meaning, there's in Texas, it can be 80 degrees on Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's. Like any of those, it could be 80, 85 degrees, right? Or it could be 6 degrees and, you know, icing or sleeting or snowing, right? It can be anywhere in between any of that.
Right.
Does your attitude or nostalgia or anything like that, is it based on any of the weather? Does the weather affect it?
It does. I'm not, but I do get it. Like, I understand why people want the white Christmas and the snow and the cold, and like why, like if it's, you know, 75 degrees outside, why people don't feel like it's Christmas or whatever. But like, I'll take 75 degrees anytime, you know?
Yeah.
So it doesn't really affect me, or, you know, or like even what I wear, because everybody's house is fucking hot, you know, to me. And so like, I'm going to wear whatever I wear anyway. What about you?
So I don't need the white Christmas, you know, like, I mean, how often does it ever snow where we are? That's rare. Right. But I definitely appreciate the actual cold weather, you know, like let's get sub 60 degrees for the holidays. Like, I don't know. There's just something about having it actually be cold. Go outside, have a drink, you know, sit by the fireplace, whatever, go get in the hot tub and it's cold weather, something like that. Right.
Yeah.
It just adds to it.
I mean, it definitely makes sense as far as like some of the things that hot chocolate or hot cider, I realize people do as well.
Right.
The kids always do hot chocolate in the season or whatever. And it's like, I get that that's not, if it's 85 degrees outside, it's not, it's, you know, it's sort of like the reason I don't get soup at lunch in the summer, you know? Like,
yeah.
It's just, I'm not really,
we're not lighting the fireplace if it's 80 degrees outside.
Right. Yeah, that's just it. But no, I totally get it. Casey is lighting the fucking fireplace though, by the way. It's that thing. Of course, ours is gas. So that fucking thing is on during the holidays, whether it doesn't matter what, if the air conditioner's on, it doesn't matter. Like it's all about the vibe.
Yeah.
She's just, you know, and I like it. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
But you know,
there's something about like the craziness of having the whole family over and the kids excited about whatever, even if it's Thanksgiving, it doesn't have to be presents, you know, just excited about being together in the big group. And there's something about that. And then, you know, whether it be the adults or, you know, stepping outside to have a quiet moment and it being nice and cold outside. You know, like I don't know. To me, that there's something about that.
Yeah, I mean, I do say I do like when we get our little heater or our solo stove out and have that, and we're all just kind of standing outside. And we have people over quite a bit during the holidays. We have our party, and we have a thing that we do on Christmas Eve, and there's people come and go. Okay, there it is. I'm sorry, I held it in as long as I could, guys. I made it 49 minutes into the show, but I do like that. I like kind of just in the smells of that. I like the smell of the of a fire burning, and that kind of things, which I was just about to ask you. So I like the smell during Christmas when we walk into Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but you probably can smell that like just in your mind, right? And you probably don't like it as much.
So like the actual, what's that stuff called? I can't think what it's called right now. But the holiday fragrance.
Yeah.
Yes, I still like that. If you walk into either of those stores just year round, it's all eucalyptus smelling, and that drives me nuts. I'm out on that.
Right.
But what's that? Potpourri. That's what
potpourri.
Yeah. I still enjoy that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Casey does this thing where she puts like cinnamon and cherries and shit in a pan.
Okay.
And just puts it over the fire in the stove or whatever, and makes the whole house smell really good. And I like that.
I like that idea.
It's a good smell. Yeah, I like the smell of the holidays.
Yeah.
And back when I was working retail, it smelled like cold hard fucking cash. I'll tell you that one.
Yeah, you like the smell of the holidays, like the actual food that's cooking and stuff, just as long as it's not pie.
Yeah, well, I probably like the smell of pie because that's like cinnamon and apples and shit, right? But I don't like that. That doesn't appeal to me. That even the insides, like that cinnamon and apple, that gooey, what the innards of apple pie is or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't really like that very much. I mean, like chocolate pie I would eat, but I don't like it. I mean, it's like, I don't know. What I do like is like if somebody gets one of like a Reese's Pieces pie or some shit, and brings that, and it's graham crackers.
Bro.
It's graham crackers and fucking like Reese's Pieces whipped into a fucking mousse. You know what I mean? And like that's good, but I don't know if that qualifies as pie.
Yeah, there's a Oreo one that whenever Tyler was little, we discovered, and we had that around quite often.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, but I'm with Tyler, man. I'd rather have the cake. Tyler likes liked the chocolate cake from this Italian place that we have around here, right? And then I remember one time one of my kids got it because they had heard about Tyler getting it all the time, and I had a bite of that shit, and I get it. Like, man, I love me some cake.
Yeah, that thing that he likes, it's definitely one of those that when someone else at the table orders it, they're going to go, it's too rich. And you and I are going to be like, pass it on over here. Pass it
on over here, man. You that is not an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm proud of myself though, man. I've stayed out of the Halloween candy. I'm trying to lose a few lbs. And so normally if I stay up past, 11:30 or so, I'll just fucking, in past years, I'm just in there just going, all right, I'll have a Twix and a Kit Kat and a little baby bag of M&Ms, and that's all I'm gonna have. I'm good this year.
I purposefully stayed out of it, but I also say was assisted by the fact that I guess our neighborhood just really dropped the ball. The kids didn't get that much of the stuff that I like. They were fine. They were happy, but the neighborhood wasn't really accommodating my desires for Halloween this year.
These fuckers. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I did end up grabbing a couple of Reese's from his bag because I was drunk, and that was, I don't remember what I was doing. I got back from watching football or something, and he was in bed, and I'm just like, all right, fuck it.
Well, I mean, the tearing into a Reese's peanut butter cup from the kids' Halloween bag is really how you get the holiday season kicked off.
It really is. Yeah, they're just so goddamn, man, those Reese's peanut butter cups. They've got it figured out, man. It's the best candy. What's your favorite candy?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like over the shelf, like go to just any grocery store and find it, that's 100% going to be the best candy is the Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah. Yeah. God damn it. Yeah, I don't ever buy, like, it's funny because I see people do it all the time, and I think we've talked about this on this show. Like, Marco will go into a convenience store and he'll just buy a candy bar, and like, I cannot remember the last time like I just bought candy at a store, like, what I want is a fucking candy bar. Like I
the last time I bought one, I can remember because we were on a road trip and I bought a couple of things for the kids. It wasn't even for me, but I was like, we're going to be in the car for 4 hours. Like in 2 hours, I'm going to hand them this and that'll be good for a while,
Yeah.
But actually buying a candy bar at a convenience store for me, I bet we were in a van,
Yeah, I don't ever do that. But people do because they got a whole fucking aisle of that shit.
Yeah.
It must still sell great.
Yeah. Now, the ice cream bin, I think we've rated that at a truck stop in the middle of the night a few times.
Frozen novelties is a completely different thing. Like
Okay.
that's a different ball game. And there's so many different directions you can go with that, because I will say that though not big, unless you get the king size, that Snickers ice cream bar is pretty good. But I do like a drumstick. But my favorite ever is the 2 chocolate chip cookies with the ice cream in the middle.
That's good. I'll definitely go with the drumstick, just for the fact that the little bitty block of chocolate in the last bite is that's the best thing there is. But I'm a little sad that I never had the Choco Taco and they discontinued them a few years ago.
Oh, you never got one of those? Now so those things are interesting because if they've been frozen and everything, all things perfect, man, that thing was good. But there a world exists where they like thawed out and the taco or the shell part, which is like waffle cone, got like soggy, and then it like was kind of like meh.
That'd be kind of like looking forward to watching a big boxing match all year long and then actually watching it and it suck.
Yeah, it's real close to that.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, it's funny because he's this Jake Paul, man. Like he's got us watching that shit. I mean, we've got 2 cases of Prime downstairs. That's his shit. Man, son of a bitch, that guy. He's got our kids hypnotized. He's got us hypnotized.
The guy's good, man.
Fucking up Netflix. Oh,
does Netflix really have like what's the right word? Not feedback, but like negative. Just besides the fact that everyone was upset with them at the moment.
Oh yeah, everybody's pissed.
Still.
Well, yeah, and all the news stories are like they're not ready for this. Like they're like there's everybody's like there's no way they can do 2 NFL games on Christmas Day. They're not going to be able to do it. So I mean, they got a month to figure it out. But I mean, because the problem is they're giving it away for free to try to get people onto Netflix to try to get them to subscribe or whatever. So like anybody can log in. Well, I mean, I don't know how that works. Like your firewall's there and then it's just not there. Like there's a paywall, I guess. So you have a paywall and then all of a sudden you just don't have a paywall anymore, and then.
Yeah. And your server's used to servicing however many people a day or at an hour at any given minute. And all of a sudden it's way, way, way higher, but there's got to be ways for them to prepare and test for it. I just don't think they accurately guessed the right amount of people or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, but
or maybe just the whole platform's really, really geared towards mobile instead of actual TV.
Interesting. Yeah, could be. I mean, but the thing is that they treat those differently. I was going to say, because most everybody has a Fire Stick now, right? I mean, everybody either has a Fire Stick or Apple TV.
I wonder if it would have worked for everyone who was having issues but not having issues on their phone to do like the phone to a HDMI and plug your phone into the TV. Would it stream easier there?
Oh yeah, or just the what do you call it? Where you just throw your phone to the whatever that's called. Technology of the, and that's God damn it, that's so cool when you can do that. Just like mirror your phone to your television.
Cast, is that it? Cast it to the TV?
Yeah, you just fucking cast it. What is that? Chromecast? Is that what it's called?
Well, there's Chromecast, but like when your phone offers, like, do you want to something to your TV? So I don't know.
Well, that's because we have Apple, and it's the greatest fucking thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, I can't remember the whatever it's called though, because you know me, I don't read stuff. So
no. Well, you know what? I just happen to have my iPhone right here, and you just fucking take this thing down, and then you click this screen mirroring. It says.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's like I don't know. There's another thing if you're in like Netflix or Hulu or whatever, and you're close to an actual TV, it asks if you want to do something.
Yeah, you guys get it.
I don't ever want to do something though. So,
oh man, hey, this has been fun. I tell you, love doing this show. And I'm glad that we're having a few good episodes in a row for you guys. And I really think we'll be back to being weekly now that we're back in the groove. So, hey, thanks for listening to the Rockstar Dad Show. Don't forget, you can drop us an email or a message on the internet, and sometimes we'll check them.
Yeah. Hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Y'all be good.
This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a